Hey everybody, welcome back to BeamNG.drive in the Season 3 kickoff of the Tough Car Challenge. Before we get going, we're going to go ahead and discuss the changes to the Tough Car Challenge in case you have not watched the previous episodes discussing it. The biggest change to the Tough Car Challenge is it's not a one-race series anymore. It is a 3-race series. Each contestant will run 3 tracks. Starting on round 1 will be the Big 8 track on the Derby Arenas map. That's where we are right now. Round 2 will be on Crash Hard's aptly named Crash Hard 2.0 map on the Endurance track, if I remember correctly. And round 3 will be on our good old industrial map at the Rallycross track, where we had Season 1 and Season 2 of the Tough Car Challenge. I figure that's a great way to end it. End each contestant's attempt at the series. With the new tracks, there are a couple tweaks to the rules. The first one I'm going to say, it's not really a tweak to the rules for the tracks, it's just a touch of quote-unquote realism, is adding if a roll cage and racing seats can be fitted to a car, they must be added. Period. And that comes mainly from enough rollovers in the old ones where it's like, I cannot see out the windshield because the roof is now going through my head. I'd like to at least try to see where I'm going a little bit more, even once the windshield gets shattered. A lot of the old rules are still in place. Each round is 1 car, 1 attempt per round. So 1 car, 1 attempt on the Big 8. 1 car, 1 attempt on Endurance, 1 car, 1 attempt on the Rallycross track. If the vehicle suffers extreme mechanical damage, which means it for some reason is not able to do the basic 4 functions, I call them, which is accelerate, brake, turn to the left, and turn to the right. If something happens that degrades it to the point where it cannot do those functions, it's done. If a car catches on fire, it's done. This rule is specifically for the endurance map because there's a couple water holes. If it gets into a deep water hole, it's not going to get out and the engine starts to hydrolock. Well, obviously, it's done. If the vehicle rolls over on any of these tracks, not a big deal. We'll pull the tow truck out, pop it back on its wheels, keep on going. For the Big 8 track and the Rallycross track, there's a pit area. So every 3rd lap, the car will come off the track, have a quick walk around and done, and then it will keep going. Unless we see something that was really causing degradation to the point where it was on the line, then we'll handle it case by case. On all 3 tracks, if there is a substantial crash occurs, we'll obviously stop the car and take a look at it. Hills. All 3 of our tracks have some sort of hill element. This track has 4 tabletop jumps. And the endurance track has 2 relatively steep hills, one of them right away from the start line. And then the Rallycross track has the aptly named Widowmaker. Each vehicle will have 2 attempts to climb these hills. If they cannot climb it under their own power, that round is done. I don't want to sit there for 10 minutes like, okay, I'm inching it up the hill. No. If it can't climb it, it's done. At the inspections, other than just seeing the mechanical damage to the car, or like exterior and checking the steering, the car has to be able to hold idle for 3 to 5 seconds. If it can't, because the engine has just been taking a lot of damage, it's been running hot and burning itself to pieces, well, that round is done. If it can't hold an idle, it's not worth keeping it the round going. And then, most importantly, our scoring system has changed. In Season 1 and Season 2, we used a portion of a lap system, so you could have done 2.5 laps, 3 1/3 laps, 5 1/4, etc. This time we are using the endurance HUD shown here to track our total distance in miles and kilometers. Is it going to be 100%? No. But I think with all 3 rounds, this is the best way to have a clear and concise scoring system across all 3 rounds. Because this time scoring gets a little bit complicated in a sense. Each vehicle, it will be scored on each round and then have an overall score of miles/kilometers driven. I am going to keep track of both. And with that, the cars will be competing against their own makes and models, so I will take another Sunburst out on the track, and it will be competing against our base model, as well as both those Sunbursts will be on the leaderboard for everybody. And not only that, they will be competing like per round. So the base model Sunburst might, let's say, do 2 miles on this track, and an eighth of a mile. Well, I'll be nice. It will do a half a mile on the endurance track, and then it runs 4 miles on rallycross. If the other car does better or worse, it will reflect accordingly. So it's per round scoring, global scoring, and then vehicles facing off against each other scoring. I will show you guys the scoreboard once we get more than 1 vehicle on it, so you guys will see what I'm talking about. And we are going to have 2 sets of scoreboards. One for the vanilla cars, like our Sunburst, like the Pessimas, the Grand Marshal, etc. Any car that the BeamNG devs add, as well as a scoreboard for the mods. So everything that's in Queso and Cruz Wabimp configuration pack, which is a metric butt ton of cars. Sergeant Fido's old full-size mod, which is like the Olds Regency in 88 and a Chevy Caprice. AR-162's truck mod, D-Series mod. I'm going, etc. There's a leaderboard for the vanillas and a leaderboard for the mods. And they're pretty much the exact same, and so on and so forth. Anyway, I have yammered long enough. Time for me to quit yammering. Let's hop in our car. Oh, before we do that, I actually have to yammer on for another minute. The car, our contestant. I've yammered on long enough about the rules and everything. Let's talk about the contestant. Our first contestant is the base model Hirochi Sunburst. It is equipped with a 1.8-liter 4-cylinder engine tied to a CVT transmission. Ew, I know, disgusting. Going to front-wheel drive. So, not much is said about it. I mean, it's a base model car. It has the racing seats and the roll cage because they're both equipable for the car. So, let's hop in it and get round 1 underway. Alright guys, we are in the Sunburst, and I now have my track IR turned on, so you can kind of see around the interior. My head's clipping through the seats. You can see our roll cage is in the back seat. We got our racing buckets in the front. Alright, so let's start the car up. Listen to that baby purr. Alright. Put it in gear. 3, 2, 1. Let's start our run up to the starting line. Alright, our starting line is right there at the base of the ramp. So away we go. Over the first jump, a little bit of air. Alright, second jump. Ooh, actually nice landing there. And it looks like our 2 damage apps that we have woken up now. That's because I took a little damage to the front end, I think. Anyway, third jump. Ooh. Little squirrely on the landing. We were able to recover. And coming up to our last jump. Oh! Alright, we're about to finish our first lap. Car's doing well so far. Looks like I got a constant traction control and stability control light on in this thing. That's okay. Oh, do we have enough damage that it's fighting the car now? Because I just lost so much speed. What the hell? We definitely have some sort of damage because the car is not liking it. So I'm going to actually look over to my keyboard here. Turn. There we go. I just turned everything off. That allows us to keep going. There we go. I can deal with the understeer more than I could deal with the electronic. Man, he's interfering! Woo! Now we're getting a little bit more speed now. How about that? Oh! Easy landing. Stuck the landing. Alright, we're coming up on 2 laps down. We've driven approximately 1.8 miles and counting. We do have suspension damage. Car's still going strong though. We're holding between 60 and 70 miles an hour. Oh, that front... I was to say, well, honestly, front and rear suspension's taking a beating, but it seems like the front end is obviously taking more because the car keeps landing on the front. Ooh. Here we go, here we go. And the 4th jump. Ooh, beautiful landing. Alright. Let's go ahead, pull off, and take a quick look at the car. See how it's holding up. Alrighty. So far, so good. The car looks to be in pretty decent shape. It looks like... I can't tell from this side. Actually, it does look like we do have some steering damage, because if you look, this wheel is pushed back, and the front is kicked out a little bit. And this wheel is straight. And it looks to be sitting okay in its wheel well. Rear end looks fine. I mean, I was going to say, panels look fine. I mean, I'm not really seeing any damage. The car's just taking suspension damage mainly, which it's going to do. So let's actually go ahead and do our idle test real quick. Let's fire the car up. And let's turn our HUDs on to... Yeah, plenty of time here. The car's holding it idle, so let's go ahead, hop back in the car, and keep going. Alright, the car is already running, so let's just put our foot on the brake, put it in gear, and away we go. Bit of tire squeals. The car is trying to get some speed. Ooh, that suspension feels a lot worse than it looks. Over the jump. Ooh. Alright, we caught it, we caught it. Approaching 3 miles so far. Right now it looks like oil and water temperatures are elevated, but they're still normal, at least for this car, because looking at the temperature gauge in car, everything looks okay. Oh, hard hit on the side. Oh, we went into the trees. Ow. All right, let's see. The car still moves, and she turns. Alrighty. Let's, well, I still have a door. Well, the car still appears to be in one piece. Let's go ahead, hop out and give it a quick once-over. Actually, before we hop out, quick idle test. Yeah, it's fine. Alright, let's hop out and take a look. All right, so it honestly it doesn't. It looked worse when we were in the car than it actually is. I mean, obviously the windshield's cracked, the driver's side mirror and glass is gone, the hood's messed up, bumpers messed up, but honestly the lights all still work, which is kind of cool on the front. We definitely do have a suspension issue on the driver front wheel. We'll take a look at another closer look at that here in a second. The rest of the car, oh, we actually have we have some damage to the rear tire. Look at that. The top is kicked out, and it looks almost like it's kicked out. The top's kicked out, and the front is kicked out a little bit. So we'll see how that goes. The driver rear tire looks okay. The passenger front, I think it's just this air buckled, so because it looks forward now. But this doesn't look good. It looks like we're having some sort of suspension failure. So let's see if we can pop close and look here. We cannot really get a good look. And there's our control arm. My guess is that front mount looks okay because that'd be right here. I'm guessing the front control, this control arm has taken damage, and it's maybe failed further back where it attaches to the subframe of the car. So anyway, we were able to pull it out of the ditch there. It runs and drives. The only thing we're going to do is flatten this hood down, and then we're going to go ahead and get going. Okay, we're back in the car. We have the hood. I think it's secured. We'll see how long it lasts. Let's go ahead and fire it back up. 3.6 miles, so far pretty good. And away we go. We definitely have something going on because we have to turn our wheel about a quarter turn to the right to keep the car going straight. And part of it is definitely that rear suspension has damage, like I thought, because it feels like the rear end is just wanting to step completely out and crab walk the car. All right, over the jump. Ooh. So far, so good, I should say. Ooh. When I did an exhibition race when I did a preview on this track with the 80s era Bishu Pessman. It actually had a front axle failure around this distance. Oh, shnikes! That was a big one. Again, another crash there. All right. The car's still going. Yeah, let's go ahead and get it to the pits, and then we'll take a look at it this time. It still is idling. It's going to the left and right well enough. Actually pretty well, so I think we're okay to keep going. I don't hear any indication that we have a fire going, so I'm not really worried about that yet. Water temperature still, and oil temperature still pretty good. Oh, but we have not taken out our radiator yet, so. There we go. Oh, crap. Oh, wow. 4-time rollover. That was fun. Not really. Let's go ahead and bring the car over to the pits here. Oh yeah, she's definitely pulling to the left. Solid. Idle test. Yeah, it's idling fine. I mean, surprisingly enough, the radiator's not blown yet. That's a big surprise. All right, let's take a look at this thing. Alrighty, so honestly, the car doesn't look any worse for wear. I mean, I'm glad we have that roll cage, because otherwise that would just be shredding the living daylights out of the cabin. Rear suspension still borked like it was before. Front passenger side, that tire and rim's badly damaged. I'm surprised that's still inflated. Excuse me. Yeah, same. Right side, damage looks the same. I mean, the car still is doing what it's supposed to do. So, I'm actually surprised all these lights. Well, the high mount brake light's gone, but that doesn't matter. I'm still surprised all these lights are still functioning. With some of these landings, you would have thought they would have got blown out. I mean, this front bumper has just been pushed up and given the car like a little, I'm not happy with you face. So, all right. Let's go ahead, keep going. Engine on. Into drive. And away we go. Ooh, I'd say it almost feels like that rear suspension damage is a little more pronounced. I mean, I think that suspension damage is what's having us... Oh, wow. She's wandering a bit more now. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. That's a tree. That's a tree. That's a... I don't know if we're going to get off this tree. Okay. That's not good. Alright. Let's see how bad... Let's see what's happened to the front end of this car, and then we'll see if we can get the car off of the tree. Okay, well, it looks like the car has really tried to become one with the tree. I'm going to try... I will see if we can get the car off of the tree without taking any more damage, but I suspect when I pull it off, it's going to cause this axle to break. We'll try it. We'll see what happens. Worst case scenario is the car is rendered undrivable and this round is over. So let's see what happens. Well, guys, I was unfortunately not successful in safely removing the car from the tree. In the process, the wheel was just so stuck into the tree that it ripped the half shaft out. And actually damaged, as you can see on our damage screen here, it damaged the half shaft on the passenger side. The car is not drivable, so, I mean, it should be taking off. It isn't. The car is dead. This round of the Tough Car Challenge is over. So, with that being said, no need to pull the scoreboard up because... well, there's nothing to compare it to. Round 1 for the Hirochi Sunburst 1.8 CVT is 5.36 miles or 8.62 kilometers driven. With that being said, stick around for round 2. And thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, press the bell icon to be notified when a new video comes up. And until next time, guys, have a good one.